Hey there, fellow deep divers. Ready to tackle something that might sound a little intimidating at first. We're going to explore the world of firewalls.
Oh, yeah.
I know it sounds super techy, but trust me, it's way more interesting and important than you might think.
Absolutely. What's fascinating is that firewalls are kind of like the unsung heroes of our digital lives, working behind the scenes to keep us safe. They might not be flashy, but they're absolutely essential in today's connected world.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but let's start with the basics. What exactly is a firewall and what does it actually do?
Think of a firewall as a security guard for your computer or your entire network. Just like a guard checks IDs and makes sure only authorized people enter a building. A firewall monitors the data coming in and out of your computer, deciding what's allowed and what's not.
So it's kind of like a digital bouncer, right?
Yeah.
Keeping the riffraff out of our online party.
Exactly. And just like a bouncer has a set of rules like no sandals or must be 21, a firewall uses a set of rules to filter network traffic. These rules are based on things like the source of the traffic, the type of communication it is, and even specific doors called ports.
Wait, doors? Like physical doors?
Well, it's a good way to visualize it. Imagine your computer has many different doors, each numbered and used for a specific purpose. Like door number 80 is for web browsing, and door 25 is for sending emails. The firewall can be set to keep certain doors open and others locked tight depending on your security preferences.
Okay, that's starting to make sense. So the firewall is constantly checking these digital doors to make sure only the right kind of traffic is getting through.
Right.
But how does it actually work? I mean, how does it know what's good traffic and what's bad?
That's where the rules come in. You can customize the firewall to block traffic from specific sources like known hacker hangouts, or to allow traffic only from trusted sources like your bank's website.
So it's like having a super detailed guest list for your computer.
Exactly, and there are different types of firewalls with varying levels of sophistication. The simplest ones, called packet filtering firewalls, just check basic information about each incoming data packet. It's like a quick ID check at the door.
Okay, so those are the bouncers who just glance at your ID and wave you through.
Yeah.
What about the more discerning bouncers?
Well, those would be the stateful inspection firewalls. They're a step up because they keep track of the entire conversation, so to speak. They remember who's already been allowed in and what they're doing, which helps them spot suspicious activity more easily.
So they're paying attention to what's going on inside the party, not just who's coming in.
Right.
What about the bouncers who are like super strict and check everyone's bags?
Those are the application level firewalls. They're the most advanced type because they can actually look inside the data packets to see what information is being exchanged.
Wow.
They can even block specific applications or websites if they think they're risky.
Wow, that's impressive. It's like they have X-ray vision for data.
Exactly. And these different types of firewalls have evolved over time, just like everything else in technology.
Oh, I'd love to hear about the history of firewalls. Where did it all begin?
Well, believe it or not, the earliest forms of network security were pretty basic.
Okay.
Imagine trying to secure a building with just a list of street addresses without knowing any names or details about the people living there. That's kind of how it was back in the early days of the internet.
That sounds not very secure.
It wasn't. But as the internet grew and cyber threats became more sophisticated, so did the need for better security. In the late 1980s, the first packet filtering firewalls emerged.
Right.
These were like the first generation of digital bouncers, providing a more granular level of control over network traffic.
So it's like we went from having just a flimsy chain across the door to a real live security guard. That's a big improvement.
It was. And the innovation didn't stop there. Soon after, developers created circuit-level gateways, which were like bouncers who focused on keeping track of ongoing conversations rather than just checking individual IDs.
Yeah.
This made things more efficient and secure.
Okay, so the security guards were getting smarter and more efficient. What happened next in this evolution?
Well, in the early 1990s, we saw the arrival of the first commercially available application-level firewall called SEAL. This was a major breakthrough because it meant we can now analyze traffic based on what applications were being used, not just the source and destination of the data.
So it's like the bouncers could now see what was happening inside the party, not just who was coming and going.
Yeah.
That's a game changer.
It was. And then came Perhaps the most significant development, stateful inspection technology.
Okay.
This allowed firewalls to remember the context of a conversation so they could spot suspicious activity more easily. Think of it as a bouncer who remembers your face and knows you've already been checked at the door so they can focus on potential troublemakers.
I love that analogy. So firewalls went from basic address checkers to intelligent systems that can understand the flow of conversation and spot anomalies. That's incredible.
It is, and that evolution continues today. Firewalls are constantly being updated and improved to keep up with the ever-changing landscape of cyber threats.
That's reassuring to know. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about why firewalls are so important for everyday users like you and me. It's not just about stopping hackers from stealing government secrets, right? There are other benefits too, aren't there?
You're absolutely right. Firewalls are crucial for everyone who uses the internet, whether you're a business executive, a student, or just someone who likes to shop online and connect with friends.
Okay, so what are some of the benefits that regular people like us can enjoy thanks to firewalls?
Well, first and foremost, firewalls provide a vital layer of protection against unauthorized access. They prevent hackers from sneaking into your computer or network and stealing your personal information like passwords, credit card numbers, or even your identity.
So it's like having a security system for your digital life, basically.
Exactly, and it's not just about preventing targeted attacks. Firewalls also help to protect against malware, which is basically malicious software that can infect your computer and cause all sorts of problems.
Malware, that sounds scary. What kind of problems can it cause?
Oh, all sorts of nasty things. It can slow down your computer, steal your data, spy on your online activity, or even take control of your device completely.
That's terrifying. So a firewall can help prevent these digital nasties from getting into my computer in the first place.
Exactly. Firewalls can block traffic from known malware sources, scan incoming files for suspicious code, and even alert you if something tries to connect to your computer without your permission.
Okay, that's a huge relief.
Yeah.
It's like having a digital bodyguard who's always on the lookout for potential threats.
Yeah.
But besides protecting us from hackers and malware, are there any other benefits to having a firewall?
Absolutely. Firewalls also give you more control over your network traffic. You can set rules to restrict access to certain websites or applications, or to prevent certain types of data from leaving your network. This is especially important if you have children or employees who use your network, as it allows you to set boundaries and protect them from inappropriate content or risky online behavior.
That's a great point. It's like being able to set parental controls for your entire network, not just individual devices.
Exactly. And another key benefit is that firewalls can help to prevent data breaches if your computer or network is compromised. A firewall can limit the damage by preventing attackers from accessing your most sensitive information.
So even if someone manages to sneak past the first line of defense, the firewall can still contain the damage and protect the crown jewels, so to speak. That's reassuring to know.
It is. And firewalls can also help to improve network performance by blocking unwanted traffic and prioritizing important data.
So it's not just about security, it's also about efficiency.
Precisely, firewalls are like the multi-talented guardians of our digital lives, working tirelessly behind the scenes to keep us safe, secure, and connected.
This is all starting to make so much more sense. Firewalls aren't just these abstract technical things. They're actually playing a crucial role in our everyday digital lives.
Absolutely. And the more you understand about firewalls, the better equipped you'll be to navigate the online world safely and securely.
Okay, we've talked a lot about what firewalls are and how they work, but I think it would be helpful to give our listeners some real-world examples of firewalls in action.
Sure.
To really drive home how these things are relevant to our everyday lives.
Okay, yeah, let's start with something most of us do every day, browsing the internet. Imagine you're shopping online and you're about to enter your credit card information.
Oh, I know that feeling. I always get a little nervous when I'm typing in my credit card details online.
And you should be cautious.
Yeah.
But here's where a firewall can really come in handy. A good firewall will make sure that the website you're on is using a secure connection, something called HTTPS.
Okay.
It's like a secret code that scrambles your information so that hackers can't steal it while it's traveling across the internet.
Okay, so the firewall is like a bodyguard, making sure I'm not handing over my precious credit card information to someone shady.
Exactly. It's checking to make sure the website has a proper ID, so to speak. And here's another example. Let's say you're working from home and you need to connect to your company's network.
Ah, yes, the joys of remote work. I'm very familiar with that scenario.
Well, your company's firewall is working hard to protect their sensitive data by ensuring that only authorized employees like you can access the network. It's like having a security guard at the office, even though you're working from your kitchen table.
That makes sense. It's like a digital gatekeeper making sure that only people with the right credentials can get in.
Right.
But what about those times when I'm just browsing the web for fun? Checking social media or watching videos.
Yeah.
Is the firewall still working for me then?
Absolutely. A firewall is always on duty, protecting you from a variety of threats, even when you're just browsing the internet for fun. It can block pop-up ads, prevent you from accidentally downloading malware, and even stop those annoying tracking cookies that follow you around the internet.
So it's like having a personal assistant who's always looking out for my best interests online, even when I'm just goofing off. That's pretty amazing.
It is.
But I have to admit, I used to think firewalls were just for big companies and tech-savvy people. I didn't realize how important they were for everyday users like me.
It's a common misconception, but the truth is anyone who connects to the internet is a potential target for cybercriminals. That's why having a firewall is so important, regardless of your technical skills or how much time you spend online. It's like having a lock on your door. It's just basic common sense for protecting yourself and your belongings.
Okay, that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
But even with the lock on my door, there's still a chance that a determined thief could break in. Are firewalls really that effective? I mean, can they really stop all cyber attacks?
Well, no security measure is 100% foolproof, but a good firewall significantly reduces your risk of being attacked. Think of it as adding an extra layer of protection to your digital life, making it much harder for cybercriminals to get their hands on your data.
So it's not a magic shield, but it's definitely a valuable tool in the fight against cybercrime.
Exactly. And just like any tool, it's important to use it correctly and to choose the right tool for the job.
That makes sense. So how can our listeners choose the right firewall for their needs? There are so many different options out there. It can feel a bit overwhelming.
You're right, there are a lot of choices. But the good news is that many home routers come with built-in firewalls.
Oh.
So you might already have basic protection without even realizing it.
That's good to know. But what if I want more advanced protection than what my router provides?
Well, then you can purchase a separate firewall device or software program. When choosing a firewall, it's important to consider your specific needs and budget.
Okay, so what are some of the things we should be looking for in a good firewall?
Well, first and foremost, it should offer the level of protection you need if you're just a casual internet user. A basic firewall might be sufficient.
Right.
But if you handle sensitive data or work from home frequently, you'll want a more robust solution with advanced features.
Right. It's all about finding the right balance between security and complexity.
Exactly. And it's important to choose a firewall that's easy to use and manage. Some firewalls come with user-friendly interfaces that make setup and configuration a breeze, while others require a bit more technical expertise.
So if you're not a tech whiz, it's probably best to go with a firewall that's known for its simplicity and ease of use.
Absolutely. And finally, you'll need to consider your budget. Firewall prices can vary widely, from free basic options to enterprise-grade systems that cost thousands of dollars.
Okay, so it's all about finding a firewall that offers the right level of protection, is user-friendly, and fits your budget. Sounds like a plan.
It is, and don't be afraid to do your research, read reviews, and ask for recommendations. There are plenty of resources available to help you make an informed decision.
I agree. Choosing the right firewall is an important investment in your online security.
Exactly. And remember, a firewall is just one piece of the puzzle when it comes to staying safe online. You also need to be mindful of your own online behavior and take steps to protect yourself from phishing scams, malware, and other threats.
That's a good reminder. So it's not just about having the right technology. It's also about being smart and responsible online.
Precisely. It's a team effort between you, your firewall, and good cybersecurity practices.
I like that it's a partnership for a safer digital life.
That's a great way to put it. And as we wrap up our deep dive into firewalls, I think it's important to emphasize that this is just the beginning of the journey. The world of cybersecurity is constantly evolving, and there's always more to learn and explore.
I couldn't agree more. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the basics of how firewalls work to the importance of choosing the right firewall for your needs.
We've explored the history of firewalls from their humble beginnings to their current status as essential tools for protecting our digital lives.
And we've discussed why firewalls are so important for everyone, not just big companies or tech-savvy individuals.
We learned that firewalls are like digital guardians working tirelessly behind the scenes to keep our data safe from hackers, malware, and other threats.
We've also emphasized the importance of being proactive about cybersecurity, using strong passwords, being cautious about what we click on, and keeping our software updated.
It's been a fascinating exploration, and we hope you found it as informative as we have.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of firewalls,
Yeah.
I want to leave our listeners with a thought. We've covered a lot of technical details.
Sure.
But I think the most important takeaway is that cybersecurity isn't just about technology. It's about awareness and taking responsibility for our own actions online.
Absolutely. Firewalls are fantastic tools, but they can't protect us from everything.
Right.
We need to be mindful of our online behavior.
Yes.
Be cautious about what we click on.
Yeah.
And practice good password hygiene.
So true. It's like having a security system in your house. It's great to have, but you still need to lock your doors and windows.
Exactly. It's about layering your defenses. A firewall is the foundation, but it's most effective when combined with smart online habits.
And one of the smartest habits is to stay informed. The world of cybersecurity is always changing.
Yes.
So it's important to keep up with the latest threats and best practices.
Absolutely. There are tons of resources available online, from blogs and articles to podcasts and videos like this one, of course.
Right. A little bit of knowledge can go a long way in protecting ourselves online.
I couldn't agree more so, dear listeners. As you venture forth into the digital world, remember that you're not alone. Firewalls are your steadfast allies, and with a bit of awareness and responsible behavior, you can navigate the online landscape with confidence.
Well said. It's been a fascinating journey exploring the world of firewalls with you. We hope you've learned a thing or two and feel more empowered to protect yourselves online.
It's been a pleasure sharing these insights with you, and don't forget to subscribe to The Deep Dive for more deep dives into topics that matter, delivered with a dash of humor and a whole lot of knowledge.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe out there in the digital world.